Hello and welcome to another edition of Films That Fail, or in this case don't. I'm probably not actually going to talk that much about the Avengers 2 things while I just kind of loosen off a wee bit. Yeah, I'm not going to talk too much about the Avengers because it's a good film. I don't really want to spoil it for anyone as a result of that. I've got a lot of mates that are going to go and see it, and I don't think any of them would appreciate it if I ruined it for them. Only bad points really were that, now I don't know if it's just me, but I remember in Iron Man 2 that Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson, had quite a well-formed posterior, and they quite commonly showed it off, and I quite liked that, quite amply chested as well. But in this film she seemed a wee bit lacking, which was a disappointment. But to be honest, when that's the major criticism you're levelling at a film, that's not too bad. What would I say about the Avengers? I would say that it is a comic book movie, and that's not a bad thing. I mean, it's a comic book movie in the sense that it's got, you know, real comic action. It is like reading a comic book, and that's a good thing. As a matter of fact, actually, I'm a long time Avengers reader. So here's my dad's Avengers comics from back in the day. These are kind of the British reprints of the original American ones. That's, what's that one there? Have a wee look. 1976. So they're a few years old, and pretty much every single one of them's got Phail written on it, which may or may not devalue it. I'm not sure. You know, it might come to a point where I'm popular stock and people will be dying for British issues of the Avengers with my name on it. But it's unlikely. So here's, just like I said, a wee bit of proof that I was raised in the good stuff. So like I said, I don't want to tear too much into the film because I don't really have anything bad to say about it. Go and watch it. It is a good film. You won't be disappointed. It's not an absolute masterstroke that some people are saying. There's a lot of people that are kind of Joss Whedon egos kind of massagers out there, and a lot of them are saying that it's like the best thing since sliced bread. And it's a good film, but it's not, you know, it's not The Dark Knight, you know. But you will watch it, you will be entertained. It's a solid comic book movie, which I think we've kind of been waiting for a long time, because comic book movies don't tend to be too comic booky. You know, they've tried to base them slightly in reality. Whereas this one, you know, we've got extra dimensional beings and Thor and Loki and everything. It's just a good time. I'll probably speak a wee bit more about my experience. Again, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, I think, just after. I've got a habit with going with my mates to like the really late night screenings, and to be honest, that's how I enjoy to go. You know, it's a bit more chilled out, and Avengers has only been out here for a day, so I was thinking, fuck, if I go to an early showing, you know, it's going to be nuts. So we went at a late night, and it wasn't too bad. Mind you, the place was still full. Now, I've got a bit of a run of bad luck that I tend to keep sitting next to like absolutely avid comic fans, and to be honest, it ruins it slightly for me. I mean, I used to read a lot when I was younger, but now I can't say that I spend too much time reading comics, if at all. But I mean, these, you know, usually I end up with like really hardcore group of people, but this time it was a group of women that were hardcore fanatics, like really hardcore fanatics. On the way out, I was speaking to my mate, because there's a stinger at the end of the film. I might as well say, one of my mates that I was with absolutely loves stingers. Every time we go, we wait till the end of the credits. Stingers are the little kind of clips that come up at the end and show you a little bit more, and that reveals kind of another character that can set up a sequel. Anyway, she was coming out, and I was talking to my friend about it, and I was saying that I couldn't quite make out who it was. Now, the reason for that is that the fucking shitey management in the place raised the lights during the credits, right? And everyone was standing around going, "Oh God, that's a crime doing that. That's ridiculous. Oh, I can't see the screen." Right, but everyone was just kind of standing around moaning about it. The only guy that got up to complain to the actual people was an old man with a walking stick, who I've never seen someone with a walking stick move that fast in his life. Bolted straight across the room, grabbed the girl that was the usher and said, "What the fuck is going on?" Everyone started laughing around her. The girl was like mortified. She was going, "Oh, I don't know, fix it." The guy's looking up at the screen going, I'm missing that. And I was thinking, right, okay mate, you're kind of going into sad territory now. But fair play to you, and they did raise the light just after it ended, but it was kind of milky and I didn't quite make out who it was, but I had my suspicions. So anyway, on the way out I was talking to my mate who, you know, my mates, you know, a couple of them are into comic books, but like not really as much as the amount of knowledge I seem to have kind of repressed as a child and are now bringing back. And he was going, oh, I don't know who it was, and I said, well, I think this is who it is. Out of nowhere, one of the girls was sitting next to us barges into the conversation. Now, I would probably say she was quite a physically intimidating girl. She was quite a large girl, but she was also wearing a Silver Surfer t-shirt. Now, for me, immediately, that's a warning sign. And she went in and went, oh, obviously you're not a comic book fan. I said, well, you know, I stopped reading them when I was a kid. And she was like, oh, well, you know, if you read the following comic series, you would actually understand it, and blah, blah, blah. She started going away. And she was standing there for ages, and a couple of my mates were just looking at her going, what have you got involved in, this absolute psychopath? And I didn't even bring it on, so it just kind of, it culminated in me basically saying, I'll just stop you there, actually. And she thought I was about to make a point. She said, what is it? I said, no, I just wanted to stop you. Can't remember what I quoted that from, but it seemed apt at the time, and she just kind of stood there completely aghast that someone wasn't willing to listen to her fucking millions of timelines that she was firing off to me. And pretty much, you know, I felt like I was going round a shop and she was putting comic books in my hand going, read this, read that, and I was thinking, but aye, that might have sounded like absolute Valhalla to a lot of guys out there thinking, I'm being surrounded by a massive group of geeky women. Well, in this case it was actually quite intimidating. I suppose I should maybe talk a lot about the film, but I said I wouldn't, so I'm going back to myself, but I'll give you a wee bit. Everything was pretty well acted. The guy, I can't remember his name, that plays Loki, did a very, very good job. He kind of had some Hannibal Lecter type moments. Guy I was surprised was the guy that played Hawkeye. Now obviously Hawkeye is an original Avenger, but in this I thought he was maybe going to be a bit of a damp squid, but to be honest he held his own and he did a pretty good job. Black Widow, she was good, but again you just kind of start thinking you're a bit out of your depth. But Hulk was fucking brilliant. Major gripe I would say is Captain America. What are they doing with his helmet? I don't really understand what's going on here. They've like painted the wings on, but he's not got wings physically coming out, and the rest of the costume's okay, but the helmet just isn't right. It was funny though, it did feel to me more like a TV episode because they brought in all these different kind of characters making a cameo, you know you've got Thor and everything coming in here, and it did kind of feel a bit TV episode wise, but no, definitely worth watching. I'd go out and watch it. Aye, probably not really got much else to say about it. I am planning to watch, I was brought to my attention that there was a Nick Fury film made in 1988 with David Hasselhoff as Nick Fury, so I'll probably get fired into that, but other than that, not really else to say other than go and watch it because it's quite a good film. If, like myself, you enjoy a wee drink, but you're thinking to yourself, how can I make this a little bit more exciting, a little bit more fun, have you thought about novelty ice cube trays? For example, here I've got these wee kind of arrow ones here. Now, I know you're probably saying they're not terrifically exciting, but wait for it. That's right, Darth Vader ice cubes. These are my particular favourite at the moment. Now these are kind of not quite set, so I'll flip them over and give you a wee idea on the other side. Look at that, just like Darth Vader's face. Now these don't cost a lot of money, but you can certainly very easily recoup the cost of these ice cube maker tray things in a very short period of time, and this is guaranteed fun for all ages. So aye, if you're looking for something to spice up your drinking, I suppose, then get fired into these, and they probably make them in all kinds of shapes, but I like Darth Vader myself. See ya!